So welcome to Film Inquiry Roundtable number 18. We've been doing this for 18 years now, so still Jake's joke from before we started recording. But thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about a happy topic, favorite pets, film and TV. So this should be a lot of fun. So I'm Kristy Strouse. If you don't somehow haven't seen these before, I'm editor-in-chief of Film Inquiry, and I'll throw it over to my co-host of a podcast, Blind Spots editor and trivia master, Jake, to say hi.
Yeah, I'm Jake Tropila, editor, writer, trivia master for Film Inquiry. Throw it over to another editor, fellow editor Bailey. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Bailey Joe. This is Sakamoto, and we both edit for Film Inquiry. This is my assistant, and I'm over here in sunny Japan, so I'm very happy to be here.
And I am Emily Wheeler. I am a writer at Film Inquiry.
And I'm Clement. I've been with Film Inquiry for like 2 years now. I don't have any pets, sorry to say, just me.
I don't either, but feel free to bring in pets.
Do you have favorite movie pets?
Wow.
I hope so.
What a topic for a roundtable. I'd imagine it's because Cruella is coming out, or it's out. Is that the case, or was it just a thing?
I actually think it came up last time because there was so many pets on screen or something.
Yeah, but if you want a tie-in, here you go, America.
Here you go, Disney.
Yeah, the corporate
we'll just
tie-in.
say it was Cruella. Just go with that.
Yeah, my list is a short 101 Dalmatians, but yeah, if you want to say this is the tie-in of the century, we planned it.
So, and I haven't seen Cruella, so I can't really speak to that.
I haven't seen it either.
It is good. I will stand up for it. I have actually seen it.
Emily, the resident
Cruella it's actually fine.
I feel like you either love or hate it from what I've seen, but that's also just kind of common discourse for.
Yeah.
Well, Emily, since you have seen Cruella, do you want to go first with your favorite movie pets?
Is it from Cruella?
It is not from Cruella, but there is a very cute dog named Winky in Cruella. He does wear an eye patch. The movie is very borderline camp. I think that's why some people might be trying to take it seriously. And they're like, no, it's just supposed to be dumb and it knows it's dumb. There's a dog with an eye patch. It's fine. Let it go.
Is it a Dalmatian?
That one is not a Dalmatian. There are Dalmatians, of course, though.
And they're evil.
Yeah, they're pretty evil. Not gonna lie. There's some nice ones too.
Oh, can of worms there. Whether or not the dogs in Cruella are evil.
But my first pick for pets in film is a children's film, but it's not going to be tied into 101 Dalmatians. It is still a Disney film, though. It is going to be, what I always say is, I think my first film I saw in theaters, which was Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey, back in the early 90s. If anyone's unfamiliar with it, it is a live-action story of two dogs and a cat who are left behind by their family when they go on vacation, and the animals freak out and decide to run away home in order to, quote unquote, I guess, save their humans that they think are in trouble, even though they're really just on vacation. So it's just kind of a kid's adventure film. However, it was a movie that I saw when I was like 5 years old, so I adored it. Like I said, probably the first movie I saw in theater. It's definitely the first movie I remember seeing in theater, partially because my mom cried when Sassy the cat goes over the waterfall, and I was very upset seeing my mom cry. And then, of course, I started crying terribly when stuff starts happening with Shadow, the golden retriever older dog. And I still, to this day, can just like pull up clips of stuff with Shadow from the end of that movie and just start crying if I ever need a good cry. That's my go-to. I also have realized as I grew up, like, I think Shadow is a moral barometer for me still to this day. I don't know why. He's just a very noble old dog, and I guess I think that is the essence of morality of what everyone should be shooting for in life. So I don't think it's a terrible one to have, but I think those are three pretty excellent pets who go on quite the adventure.
Wait, do any of them die in Homeward Bound? I don't remember.
No, they don't die.
There's no animal death?
Chance
Okay.
Chance gets prickled pretty bad.
They all get hurt.
There's
Yeah, they
doesn't
get hurt.
Shadow fall down a mine shaft?
He does, and you think he's
What?
not gonna make it, and then he like comes over the hill at the last
Yeah.
minute.
The
I'm
the texture and soundscape of that mud that he crawls in like is very haunting.
Yes.
Like I think of that.
Yeah.
And have you guys seen the sequel, Lost in San Francisco?
I don't think I had it in me to watch this sequel, but maybe I didn't repress it. I don't know. But that movie was on my list too.
Those-
Not as
yeah.
like the first, but it scarred me. Actually, recently it was on TV and it was towards the end, and I was like, oh, this movie's probably wouldn't even affect me now. It's probably horrible. And then the end of that movie came and I was just like sobbing. I was like, Shadow. But anyway, so I feel that. Jake was gonna
it's,
say something, but I think we
it's
lost
a
him.
really good one.
I was
And there's
trying
a
to call my own golden retriever over, but
Oh.
she's sleeping.
Wake
Look,
her
as
up.
long as she doesn't fall down a hole and heroically climb over a hill to their owner, it's fine. I won't cry, but
No, we won't do that to her.
I
Yeah.
think my favorite scene is with the mountain lion.
Mhm.
Like that was great. And I was just explaining to a coworker of mine like what a mountain lion is. Cause like they don't really have them here, obviously. But like when I told them, oh yeah, at my elementary school, if there was a mountain lion in the playground, school was canceled. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's what happens in the Pacific Northwest, you know. I love Homeward Bound. I'm so glad that like kicks this off.
It's a nice, sad way to start, but it is a happy ending. I'm just kidding. It's that sad, happy sort of thing. Like
was-
so many movies with animals, honestly.
It was kind
It's
of
got the fake out.
it was kind of that first movie of like I didn't understand why he was called Shadow because like wait, he's a golden dog. Shadows are like black cat. Like it was always like animals at that age were like named for what they look like. And I was like, oh, it's like his own shadow. And that blew my mind for naming pets. What a great movie.
Have any of you seen The Adventures of Milo and Otis, which is, it looks very Homeward Bound adjacent.
Yeah, I wrote that one down, not as one of my favorites, because I don't even know if I've seen the whole thing. And now at this point in my life, I don't know if I ever could because of just all the horrifying things I heard that they did behind the scenes just to get that movie made. I mean, on paper, it's cute and it looks really cute, but like I saw a clip one time of Milo the cat like getting his little cheeks pinched by a crab, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This is
I liked it
Yeah.
as a kid, and then as an adult, I read those things, and it kind of like broke me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I loved it as a kid.
They call in Dudley Moore was called in to cutify it for audiences, but
Real dog
never-
journey
yeah.
for
I've
its
never heard of
time.
it.
dogs.
Never heard of it? I'm surprised.
You've never heard of Milo and
No.
Otis? It's a Japanese production.
Dang,
That's why I
I'm
brought it up. I thought
failing.
Bailey maybe knew.
Well, yeah, I Googled it
Yeah.
and it said like Koneko Monogatari, which is a kitten story. So I'm sorry, guys.
Mhm.
Wow, this pug erasure happening.
Okay.
Because there's a pug in there too.
Oh,
Yeah.
people do love pugs here, so that doesn't surprise me. The kind of like animal buddy movie I remember as a kid was Zeus and Roxanne. Do you guys know that one?
Yeah. The dog and the
That was
dolphin.
great. My grandma took me to see that.
Dog and a
Like,
what?
a dog and a dolphin.
The
How did
dolphin.
they become
Roxanne.
friends?
How could they
Don't
not?
remember.
It's a
Exactly.
George
The
Miller
magic
film?
of cinema.
Oh
Like
my
the big
God.
thing in the trailer was that Zeus the dog rides on Roxanne's back.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Sensible.
There's like real life like friendships of dogs and dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure you could search one when there's one that this dog just goes and runs out in the ocean every day to greet his dolphin friend and they hang out. It's a true story.
The villain in
So-
Zeus and Roxanne is the mummy from The Mummy. It's Arnold
And it's Steve
Vosloo.
Gutenberg.
Arnold
Yes.
Vosloo.
Whoa.
This is insane. I'm gonna watch this movie.
If I recall, there's a scene in that movie where like the love interest is like I don't know if she's a marine biologist or something, but she like goes down to the bottom of the ocean in this little mini one-person sub and it gets stuck. So she decides she's going to open the hatch at the bottom of the sea to get out, but then it just floods. And then Steve Gutenberg has to swim down and save her. Is that, am I thinking of something completely
I mean,
different?
That's
That's
something that
also
happens
kind
in
of a
this,
plot
apparently.
line in Jaws 3 and in Jaws 4.
The best
Yes,
ones, you mean?
best ones.
Yeah. Anybody have Bruce the shark as their favorite pet
Not pet.
from Jaws?
Is he
No.
a pet? I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty aggressive pet.
Yeah.
My
Well,
my favorite shark from those
Go ahead.
movies is the baby shark in Jaws 3 that they find in the SeaWorld tank, and then they are like, we're gonna bring it back to health and like nurse it and put it in a pool, but they put it out too soon, so it dies. But it's really funny scene because it's just an animatronic that keeps flipping over. That's my favorite shark.
Aw.
It's very funny, and there's a part where the marine biologist keeps going like this to like comfort it, but you can't do that with shark skin.
yeah, it's very rough. Is that what kicks off? I've never seen Jaws 3. Is that what kicks off the and I've seen Jaws the Revenge several times, believe it or not. But is that what kicks off the shark rampage? Is the death of the baby shark?
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
John Wick.
it's
Jaws
like
films.
the first shark is like a red herring, and they're like, wait, there's another shark, and it's in the park. It's the mother. She wants revenge for her baby, and it's like, that's not a thing.
So technically, in that one, then they are pets because they're SeaWorld attractions, right?
Oh,
Technicality.
they like it's like a marine to, like, you can easily get into the park through the ocean. So the sharks get in there, they get stuck, and then the one dies. And then the other one slowly goes into frame to crash into the glass and kill everybody. The famous, amazing 3D effects.
Really ahead of its time. Jaws 3D.
I would not say it's a pet, though.
I was going to just talk about John Wick because when I hear movie pets, I immediately just think of that. And like, whoever was responsible for picking out the dogs for that movie, like, you only have 15 minutes with this puppy before it gets killed off, and it has to be cute enough to believably string together this movie and 2 sequels of like why he needs revenge for this dog. So
It had to be a
props to
beagle.
whoever,
Yeah.
props to whoever picked out the dog on that, and the dog
Yeah.
in the third one.
Daisy the Beagle was from John Wick was on my list, and you don't want it to happen, but it's great to see him kill everybody responsible. That's intensely gratifying. And then the pit bull that he saves, who follows him through John Wick 2 and 3, doesn't die, and I think it's also a good like sign of like, I don't know, just sort of getting rid of the stigma that like pit bulls are just vicious, evil breeds. Which is a completely false thing. They're actually very sweet creatures. So yeah, go John Wick, go
I
pit
also
bulls.
love
And Halle Berry's dogs can climb walls.
I was just gonna say I loved
That's
her
right.
dogs
She's got
in
those.
the third movie.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
It makes me want to like learn how to train dogs because I'm bad at training animals.
You just train your cat to claw people in the nuts.
Oh yes. Where is he? The only thing my cat can do is fetch, but he taught me how to play fetch.
Any other favorite dogs, since we've been kind of on that? It's like from Lost Boys. Remember Nanook? He's the how do you say that word? What is it?
Oh yeah.
Malamute?
Yes.
Malamute?
I don't
Is it
remember a dog in
Marmaduke?
that.
A Malamute? What's
Marmaduke.
Malamute.
Shout out to Marmaduke, starring Owen Wilson.
Yes. All the M's. But yeah, that Nanook is awesome.
Yeah.
I think my favorite TV dog, or not TV dog, my favorite movie dog is the Beast / Hercules from The Sandlot. Because he's like a monster at first. And like, it's just these kids' imagination imagining this dog. And he just turns out to be like this sweet old, I don't know the breed. I don't remember the breed of dog he is, but he's very big.
I think he's a Mastiff.
I don't
He is too.
or something like that.
Yeah.
The
It's
first time they show him,
something
it's
big.
like an animatronic, isn't it? Like the first time.
Yes. Oh my God.
I love
Yes.
that part.
The flashback story, and it's just these enormous paws. My cousin had those monster slippers, the big fuzzy ones, and we would be like, ba-boom, ba-boom, pretending to be that animal, the beast. But yeah, just and then the whole thing with like getting the ball and then like the chase is so great. And then just at the very end, he's their little mascot with his own jersey. That's like by far my favorite like dog in a movie.
Yeah, I
feel
like how
there's
half the conflict is just getting their ball back from over the fence. Is
It's
the Sandlot?
It's a perfect movie.
I feel like there's a whole
Eh.
subset of sports movies, like baseball movies especially, with like a dude and a dog, and the dog knows how to play fetch and stuff. And then
Are
there's
we
a
gonna talk
subset of
about Air
that
Bud?
where the dog can play sports.
Nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't play basketball.
And then he eventually does play baseball in one of the movies.
How many of
Makes
those
no
are
sense.
there? Like,
Isn't
air-
there like he plays basketball? I'm sure he plays football too,
Plays football.
right?
He plays
Like he kind of just punts it with his snout.
soccer. I think he plays volleyball.
takes over this world, apparently.
That makes sense. Volleyball makes the most sense, just because all he has to do is just bounce it over the net.
Air
I
Bud
might have a
World
visitor.
Pup. Air Bud spikes back.
That's good. That's a good title.
Air Bud
Brian.
golden receiver.
Oh my.
Pretty good.
Air
Stick with the
Bud
person who
Air
came up with
Buddies.
They probably
Snow
figure
buddies.
out they probably figure out the title first and then figure out the plot based on that.
Oh, probably. It didn't take him long, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Probably a pretty quick, right?
Yeah, my favorite's where he becomes a 9-ball champion and just goes around a bunch of dive bars. That's a good one. I think my favorite movie dog is probably Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, who's totally a dog and not at all an alien. That's pretty good. Plus, because he can talk and has a personality and gets second billing, it's a lot more of like a deep relationship between the two of them than you can do with most live action dog films. And also, shout out to the dog in Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which we were talking about in the chat a while ago. But the one that Zoe Kazan has, the little like white
Annoying one.
annoying puppy that she takes on her wagon trip. A lot like Jake's, but smaller and white. And I think the dog dies in that. I don't know. Spoilers for Buster Scruggs.
He does not die. I think it's
Okay.
a Jack Russell.
Keep
Yeah, I think so.
bringing your animals on.
just
Yeah, if they tolerate it.
just dunking on us with all your
This
pets.
is Simon.
Hi,
Aw.
Simon. I know
Yeah.
he can't hear us, but he can hear
Hi.
me because we have this connection.
Cross space and time.
He's
Well,
trying
so-
to jump back up now. He's like, I want to talk. But
He's a dog I'm going to steal in the future. I've warned Jake, so
yeah, it's fair.
Brella DeVille.
Yeah.
Now on Disney
Well,
Plus.
except not.
I had a lot of dogs that I went through, and I landed on two more kind of serious picks because I know we've been discussing a lot of family-friendly ones. But one that came to mind is from the 2011 film Le Havre, directed by Aki Kaurismäki. I think it's his masterpiece. It's about an old man who helps. It's set in France, and it's about an old man who helps this young African immigrant boy get to safety and kind of evade police capture. But he's got this dog named Laika, who's actually the director's family dog, and the dog kind of just sticks with this boy the whole time. And it's like just one of the best like movie companions I've ever seen. And it's great because it's Aki Kaurismäki's actual family dog, and also the dog is credited in the opening credits. It just says Laika. And I think he frequently has dogs, and he's also always crediting them in his films. And then another one, which also gets prominent billing, is here's yet another cat. All right, I gotta talk. This is another one is from Kelly Reichardt's film Wendy and Lucy. Lucy is her dog, who was also, I believe, is in Old Joy. And Wendy and Lucy, if you haven't seen it, Michelle Williams plays a vagabond whose only companion is this dog. And at one point in the film, she gets separated, and it's just kind of goes through a struggle to get her back. Nothing bad happens to Lucy, unfortunately, but there is like just the nightmare of potentially losing your pet just feels very real. And yeah, Lucy was Kelly Reichardt's actual dog, and I believe passed away before Certain Women was released. So she dedicated that film to her. But yeah, Laika and Lucy are two of my favorite movie pets, who are also the pets of the directors.
Also,
And then
shout out First
Aw.
Cow for Kelly Reichardt.
First Cow, Cookie from First Cow is the best cow, best non-dog, best non-cat on this list that I have. Also I like Doug from Up. He's good.
Yep. I haven't written
Oh
down.
yeah,
But that's a
Doug.
given. Yeah.
Aw.
Who doesn't like a talking?
I was thinking of Pixar animal sidekicks. Do we think that in the film Ratatouille, Remy is the pet or Linguini is the pet in this scenario?
It's a very interesting
It's a
dynamic because he's controlling the cook with the hair.
Right, but
So-
Linguini is the one who pays taxes and rent. So
Yeah, but
But
Remy
because
keeps
of-
him employed.
Right,
do so.
exactly.
Right.
Because of Remy, it all goes around.
Yeah.
But if we're going off of 101 Dalmatian logic, the pets believe that their owner is their pet.
True.
Anybody ever hear that thing that cats think that people are just bigger, dumb cats who don't know how to like climb on sofas or anything?
I believe it.
Very
I haven't heard
true.
it.
I think that holds true for Ratatouille as well.
I don't know that cats respect us enough to put us on par with them.
It's
wait.
like their behavior, there's always like things of like, oh, if your cat does this, it means that they think that you're a bad hunter. If they do this, it means they think that you're weak. Like my childhood cat Timmy, he would bring me a dead shrew every morning. I was like, oh, he's bringing me a present. And then I read, oh, it's because he thinks I suck at hunting and I can't defend for myself.
And it's also just like a gift, I think. Like this
It's
one
like a
stray,
reward.
yeah, like this one stray cat I used to feed pretty much every day. One day he brought a dead mouse to my door as like a thank you, and I was like, "Oh, that's very nice of you." And yeah,
How was
That
that
ended up-
mouse? What'd you do with it?
I just kind of
You
left it
sauteed it.
I
outside.
taught him how to cook.
I tried to put it in my hair and then cover it with a chef's hat. Didn't work because it was already dead, so it was
That's-
just kind of bad.
That's the Ratatouille horror sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark side.
The
Yeah.
Tim Burton's Frankenweenie Ratatouille.
I was gonna say
Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie.
Ratatouille.
Remy's
love
dead, but
Frankenweenie.
Linguini.
But
Linguini
fun
wakes up in the
fact,
middle of the night.
so the cat, that stray cat I fed, this is actually his son, who he had with another stray cat in the neighborhood.
He does not want
And,
to be there right now.
No, there's like, he wants to look out the window. There's like birds and stuff flying around. So, plus he just woke up. He's a little cranky. But yeah, that was Orion, our latest addition.
Yeah, my family cat would bring dead mice, and drop them at the welcome mat in front of the door.
It's a sign of affection.
It's definitely
Mhm.
that was a stray as well. I'd also throw out Einstein from Back to the Future as a time traveling dog, even if it's against his will. And I
Right.
always
Oh,
feel really bad when he
yeah.
puts him in the car.
Experimenting on your dog. Ooh.
But for him, the trip was instantaneous. He felt nothing. He just-
And I can't think of the
shows
other
up.
dogs because in the other movies he also has like the same looking dog, but it's a different name. I can't recall it.
Copernicus?
Yes,
I-
that's what-
Einstein. Oh, okay. I was gonna say it was a joke if it was like just generations of Einstein, like the original one is
looks like
Einstein the third.
I don't
Yeah.
know. if they're related.
Copernicus.
It is Copernicus. Yeah, I should have realized that. I also like was it Verdell from As Good as It Gets? The dog that kind of softens Jack Nicholson's heart a little bit. That dog's
Never seen
adorable.
that movie.
Really?
Yeah,
He even
I
like
do-
sings to him on the piano, and the dog's really happy. Anyway,
That's cute.
but yeah, maybe we should move to cats since we've been kind of segueing into that. I mean, when we started this, Jake's like, "Oh, your pick's gonna be Jones from Aliens, and your second pick from Alien, and your second pick's gonna be Jones from Aliens," and that's absolutely true. It's just it's an awesome cat. I mean, it survives, and it's obviously adorable. If I ever get an orange cat, that's definitely what I name it. Just put that out there. But you got to show love for Jones.
It's
And he has
always
a
kind of
function
a
in the story.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that she makes the point of saving, which is something that I've probably said before, but when a movie actually saves an animal, it's like it has a special place in my heart forever because so many will kill the animal and it's like easy to do that, especially in horror or sci-fi or something of that nature. Shout out to Love and Monsters too, who keeps the dog alive, which I think his name is just Dog. And also
Very Mad Max.
Yes. And that's I don't know. I think it's cool also because I imagine it's really hard to make a movie with an animal and keep it in the plot and keep it alive and also get the animal to act and like,
Yeah.
go with the story. So if they do that, it's a win, even though Jones is not in it the whole time.
That might be why they kill off
Oh, I'm
animals
sure
in
it
movies. It's like it's tension where they don't have to kill off a human, but there's a threat. But also, yeah, we don't have to put up with this animal acting anymore, which is unfortunate. But
Recently, one
Easy
survived in
tier.
Crawl too. If anyone's seen the movie Crawl,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I
Does
love
a dog
that.
become best friends with a crocodile?
nobody
Yeah,
survives in it.
he rides him like Zeus and Roxanne.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then Steve Gutenberg shows up and has to dive down or whatever that story was.
Yeah. But cats, I didn't have any specific movie cats, but a film I love that features a lot of cats is the Turkish documentary Kedi,
Yes.
which follows a lot of specific cats throughout this city. And the best one is this guy who basically just camps out outside of this like deli. And whenever he's hungry, he just runs up to Emily's nodding her head. She knows what I'm talking about. He just runs up to the window where the chef can see him, and he just starts pawing at the window. He never comes into the deli, and he doesn't harass the customers. He's very polite, but he just does this little thing on the glass until the chef brings out a little plate of like smoked meat. It's one of the best cats ever. So
I
think
love
his name's
that
like
movie.
his name's like Bonnaroo or something. He's got some.
His name is Dumas. He was down as my pick as my favorite cat from that cat that I'm going to make for that
There
movie.
you go. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Kedi's like highly recommended if you want to just watch some great cats. It's really short too. It's like 75 minutes long.
Mhm.
But yeah, check that one out.
I know
think
we're on
the
cats
ultimate-
now. Oh, sorry.
Now, this is the ultimate cat in any movie. Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service.
I like him because he's voiced by Phil Hartman in the original Fox dub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who voices him in the Disney dub?
I have no idea. I haven't watched that.
I think it is Phil Hartman.
That would be great if it was. Why mess with perfection? My favorite part is where they're grocery shopping and he sees a mug with a black cat on it. He goes, "Hey Kiki, look, it's me."
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's still Phil Hartman. Thank God.
That's good.
A man after my own heart. Man.
Do you guys know the change between the Japanese version and the English version with Gigi?
No, what is it?
So in the original Japanese, where she loses her witch's powers, and she can't talk to Gigi. In the original movie, she never can talk to Gigi again. And in the English movie, it's like basically like implied in the end that she can. And the reasoning is that Gigi represents her immature side. So once she like kind of grows up and her not being able to talk to Gigi like as a person represents her growing up. And honestly, I hate that. I
really
want her to
interesting,
be
though.
able to talk to Gigi.
So does that imply Gigi's not real?
I think it's just like maybe it's just an immature witch thing. Like that's the thing. It's like super ambiguous, like what it implies. But I can see Miyazaki making that decision, but I don't like it. So
I did pick up the actual novel, so when I figure it out, I'll let y'all know.
yes,
what
please
happens.
do.
Speaking of witchy cats, how about Salem from Sabrina?
Yes.
That
Um,
animatronic
who-
looking, just it's like some of my favorite gifts online, I think, are with that cat.
I was
Just-
rewatching some of that recently just to have on while I was working at home, and he actually holds up really well. I think because it was animatronic, he actually still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It was the best part.
And he's just usually sitting on the couch cracking wise at whatever Sabrina's doing.
TGI
so good.
Fridays there. TGIF, yeah. Every Friday I'd watch that. I feel so old now, but
Yeah,
I
in
don't
the
know how it
new
holds up.
show. in the new show, because the actress is allergic to cats, they barely show him, which is a bummer.
Really?
But
That's interesting.
Kieran Shipka, the
Yeah.
Mad Men gal.
Yeah, she ended up being
Wow.
allergic to cats. It's like
That's-
Captain Marvel, where they had to CGI the cat a bunch because they found out Brie Larson was allergic.
yeah. Oh yeah, Goose. I love Goose, even though he's a flirkin. But there, I mean, not to like spoilers kind of for the new Sabrina show, but there is like kind of there's an episode where she's kind of in an alternate thing where she's on the set of the original show. And so Salem does talk, but it's not a puppet. It's like is it a puppet? I can't remember, but there's like a callback to that. But I much prefer the old school Salem,
Good dude.
500-year-old witch.
I think a shout out when we're on cats to a cat that totally derailed the movie for me, which was Clute, which is maybe a movie you don't remember there's a cat because it's not actually in it very much, but Jane Fonda's character does have a cat that kind of is in the background of a lot of scenes. And the premise of the movie is this whole like murder mystery. However, I get completely distracted because there is a random moment in it where Jane Fonda's character is just feeding the cat. So she like dunks everything out of this cat food and then licks the spoon, and just the scene moves on. And I'm so distracted by the fact that perhaps Jane Fonda just licked cat food and ate it. I don't know. It derailed the movie for me.
That's a lot.
I'm gonna be thinking about that
mean-
the rest of the day, probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
I still think about it to this day. I was like, I cannot honestly remember the mystery of Clute, what really happened to that movie, but I distinctly remember that Jane Fonda potentially.
That's the real mystery right there. Is
I
whether or
mean-
not she like cat food.
when I was a kid, I ate cat food.
Who
So it's-
among us
it's
did
not
not eat cat
horrible.
food as a kid?
But my mom made me my mom caught me. She made me promise never to do it again. But I
Was
mean,
it
I'm
dry,
glad she did
crunchy?
that.
it was dry,
Was it dry-
crunchy cat food in the loft of our barn. So there's probably like rat poop in it too. Oh no.
Oh,
but,
yeah,
like,
no.
So I never ate it again, but I remember it being tasty. But wet cat food, no.
When
That's
your
where I
mother
draw the line.
when your mother caught you, did she say, "Do you kiss me with that mouth"?
Well, it was actually my brother caught me and he tattled on me, and then I got a spanking.
So you would have just
And-
kept on eating.
Did he say?
I would have, if she'd never caught me, I would have eaten cat food, probably to this day. You
Well, what brand was it?
think I know? I was a
Well,
kid.
you said it was good. I was hoping for an endorsement.
I was also like 7,
Yes.
very young.
Uh,
Oh, another
cat was,
kitty.
I was going to talk about my favorite cameo cat, which is the 3-legged cat in The Brothers Bloom, where they're going through the town in the beginning, and there's a cutaway.
Isn't it
No,
a-
sorry, it's a one-legged.
It's a
cat.
one-legged cat.
There's a
And
little cat
he's in
in
like
a
he's in
roller
a boot
skate
skate with
with
a
a
crutch,
crutch.
right?
And they're like, oh, and there's the town cat with one leg. And also Cleo 5-7, which has the main character just lives in a palace filled with cats. And they're all like cute little kittens, and they all just run around, and it's great. Good stuff, Cleo
A
5-7.
home for all the alley cats of Paris.
The one of my favorite films of is Robert Altman's The Long Goodbye, which is about Detective Philip Marlowe, and the movie opens with him being woken up by his cat for his cat to feed him, and he doesn't have his cat. His cat only eats one brand of cat food. He eats curry brand cat food, and he's all out. So he tries to like make him a little plate of like raw eggs and cottage cheese, but the cat rejects it. So he has to go to the store in the middle of the night to get some cat food, and they're all out of Curry's brand. And they don't have any, so he just gets the next best thing he can think of and tries to give it to his cat. And the cat ends up just leaving him. And so like his like, so yeah, for the rest of the film, he doesn't have it. Like he's just kind of looking out for his cat, but his cat never returns. It just completely rejects him. But it's such just like a great opening sequence, is just him trying to make his cat happy. And it's a really good, like well-behaved movie cat too. Like it's jumping on like counters and on his shoulder in like very timed fashion. So that's one I would recommend as well.
Also, Inside
Yeah.
Llewyn Davis has a good movie cat, or
Yes.
2 good movie cats,
Yeah.
I guess.
I still need to see that.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Another one that we're
I-
going to give you hell for.
Good ginger cat.
when
yeah.
when it came out, my best friend was like, you have to watch this movie. Like, you have to. And I was like, okay. I will watch it. It'll be my next Mulholland Drive.
So just to move it along, something that's not a cat or a dog is Mr. Jingles from Green Mile. Mouse that
Oh,
I know, but he does live. He actually lives like he has like really long life.
He's lived for like 80
That's-
years.
Yeah, he's
It's something
very
crazy.
like the old Tom Hanks. They just they're not dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can even still retrieve the little rolling thing. But yeah, he's a good one. And just to be sad too is Artax from Neverending Story. It's a horse, obviously. It's Atreyu's horse. Another movie that scarred me as a kid is that scene with Artax. If anyone doesn't know it, don't watch it, then you'll just be
yeah. Bruh, no. I grew up with horses. Anything where horses get hurt, I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't deal with it.
Any Western made before 1980? No.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Yakima Kanoa, he did really well with like making stunts better with horses because he was an actual cowboy, but like, yeah, even in like more modern like movies, like in House of Flying Daggers, the way they trip the horses is horrible.
Yeah.
Like they actually use wires and it's like, you don't have to do that.
No.
yeah. Animals getting hurt in movies is like, I mean, I can watch some pretty like horrible things going on in horror movies and stuff, but when an animal gets injured, it's like it just wrecks me.
Especially knowing that they must have done multiple takes for it. And they definitely had animals, on the bench for when these got too
On the
hurt to do another take.
Yeah.
All right, you're in.
Yeah.
A great movie horse is probably one of my favorites. That's like an actual like. I was thinking like, are horses pets? They're kind of a weird like gray area. But a great one was Black Beauty from 1994, and I just realized that it's Alan Cummings as the voice of Black Beauty. But that's a really really great movie, and really heartbreaking. And Sean Bean is in it as like the like hero young man.
Yeah. And he doesn't die in the beginning. He doesn't.
Ginger dies, and I'm sure the pony dies, but Black Beauty does not die. Thank God.
Well, if we're going to continue this horse thread, one of the first films I remember seeing in the theaters and loving was actually one of my favorite like superheroes as a kid was the Phantom. Not sure if anybody knows of the Phantom these days, but it's a guy who lives in the jungle and he wears like a purple muscle suit and he has guns. He's played by Billy Zane in the movie, but he's got a horse named Hero and a wolf named Devil who are like his sidekicks, and they're both very good and very loyal, and they don't get hurt. They all help him or attack enemies in their own way. But yeah, I want to give them a shout out too, Hero and Devil.
Ooh, I heard that
What
movie
is your
was
dog?
bad, but there's a horse. I'll watch it.
There's a
been while
great
since I've seen it.
there's like a great scene where they're on a malfunctioning plane, him and this gal, the love interest, and the horse runs alongside the plane and is able to catch them both as they jump out of it. And it's a really fun movie, I think. It's got like the same
Ooh.
kind of like Rocketeer energy with a lot of Indiana Jones imagery, I guess. Part of it is just about like cave and treasure hunting in the 1940s. Yeah, it's a fun little throwback pulpy film. Check it out. The Phantom.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Another great horse like in a movie are all the horses in Lord of the Rings. Every single one. It's another one of the many amazing facets of the movie, and Viggo Mortensen's like relationship to his character's horse, because he bought that horse
Oh,
and it became like his, and I love that. I love that for him.
I like the pony in The Hobbit that Bilbo rides around because he's too small to have a horse.
Wait,
Good
so Viggo Mortensen, which horse? Was it the one that saves him? The one that he like lets go and then it comes and saves his life?
I just know that it's like a sorrel brown horse, and it was like just the one that he rode the most. And when the movies wrapped up, he like asked the owner if he could just buy the horse. And there's
Yeah.
always a great picture of him like laying down and the horse is like just chilling with him.
You really took that role to far.
I think it's probably that horse that like the one that saves him after
Yeah,
he
that's
falls
what
off
I
the
think,
cliff. Yeah,
too. Yeah, I can't think
I'm
of
presuming
the
it's that guy.
An elvish.
And the Hobbit pony, his name is Bill, and then I know Gandalf rides Shadowfax. Isn't he the king of the horses?
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
He's pretty badass.
Yeah. I love stories of like where animals or like actors adopt the animals that they work with. I don't know if this came before the film, but in Django Unchained, Jamie Foxx was riding a horse at the end of it, and he's riding the horse without a saddle, and it's pretty cool stuff. I think that was either his horse before production or he adopted it after.
Yeah. I mean, like most actors are not good at riding horses. Let's be honest. But like if you ride bareback like that, it's definitely like either you've trained with this horse a lot or it is your own horse. Probably the best like horseback rider in a movie I've seen is literally Wilford Brimley in Hard Target, where he's like galloping away from the explosions. But he was a cowboy, so that makes sense.
I just received word off camera that Halle Berry adopted one of the cats in Catwoman, and actually
So one good thing came out of that.
It is, yeah. The good thing that came out of Catwoman. But
the basketball scene's great.
It was all actually a ploy so that she could adopt a cat.
Right. That was the entire purpose.
Let's make a $50 million bomb so I can get one cat.
Otherwise, she had no chance.
Well, this is what you do when you're rich. I want to point out that apparently, according to horseyhooves.com, Viggo Mortensen bought 2 of his horses.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Did you just make that website up?
Oh, I'm serious. It's got the latest and greatest in horsey news. Also, in January 2021, he confirmed that 2 of his 3 horses have died.
Well, they don't
That
last
sucks.
that long.
Yeah, thanks, Clement, for that news. No,
But
that's
he did. So he purchased 3 horses actually after the film. 2 of them, I don't know which ones died. Actually, I'm not going to read that. But 2 of them were his and went to go live with a vet in New Zealand. But a third one he bought for a stunt woman who he befriended making the Lord of the Rings series. So,
Yeah, because most of the stunt writers were women.
shout out to Vigo.
Well, he was also in Hidalgo, which
Yeah.
was all about like a horse being amazing. I haven't seen it though.
I
Like
wonder if he tried to get them to use his horses in Hidalgo.
maybe, but Hidalgo's like a
Maybe.
pinto, like a very specific like type of horse. So and like the horses in Lord of the Rings are all like brown or white or black. So I don't know.
Got to give shout out to the horse and war horse too.
In what?
War horse.
War
Yeah.
horse.
Never seen
Yes.
Ever seen it?
I haven't
Shout
seen
out-
it, but I know it.
Yes,
Shout out
there
to
was
the
a lot.
horse in the theatrical version of War Horse, which is just like 4 guys and a little pinup board.
Shout out to the horse in Equus that Danny Radcliffe gets naked with.
What?
Yeah.
Mhm. That's like the whole thing of it is like, oh, Harry Potter's going to show his wiener on a stage in Equus.
With a horse.
With a
Mhm.
horse.
Yeah, with the horse. That's the story.
Even though Jake hates birds, Hedwig from Harry Potter, if you're going to mention that. It's not
So-
as weird as the naked horse, him and a horse. Naked.
Yeah.
I love Hedwig. Hedwig was like, when Hedwig died, spoilers, when Hedwig died, that was like the
What?
only time I was like sad during those books.
Well, he sacrifices. So,
I genuinely didn't know that because I've only sporadically seen some Harry Potter, so I was not aware he dies.
Yeah,
He's like the first death in the last film, right? They kind of
Yeah.
kick off, everybody
Yeah.
dies, and it starts with Hedwig.
Oh,
To
jeez.
Yeah.
say
It's the
nobody
second-
is safe.
Yeah, it's part 1.
Yeah, it was so jarring watching that because in the book there's like Harry like fully like mourns her as she like falls, you know, in her cage. But like, yeah, it's literally like blink and you miss it in the movie.
yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
Sorry to backtrack really quickly. The
No.
Wikipedia for Hidalgo, the actor Viggo Mortensen bought the horse RH to Contender, one of the horses used in the film, and he went to an American Indian ranch.
Wow.
That's neat.
I mean, that's a pretty weird name, so it must be a high pedigree horse.
Yeah, I know nothing about horses. I've never rode one. I can't even talk today. But so every time you say like a breed or anything, it's just
Sorry.
but, no, it's awesome. I wish I had more experience with that. So I guess we should probably go to trivia. I would like to throw out Baxter from Anchorman, just because
Yes!
from Milwaukee. It's like, I love
Baxter is so great. And especially when Jack Black drop kicks him off the bridge, and it's clearly a little like stuffed animal. It's the best. Totally the best.
I was gonna say off the back of Jake's discussion of the spirit, that one of my favorite like tropes in movies is where the villain has thank you, Jake. Where the villain has a pet that's equally as evil as the villain is. Like the crocodiles in the Rescuers movies are like a good example of this.
Yeah. Or
Ursula's
Yeah.
eagles.
The
Or,
sharks in any James Bond movie.
Is that Clement, is that a dog behind your
These
left
are all
shoulder?
stuffed animals that I used to have as a kid, and my parents never threw away. So
I see.
they're my
And there they
backdrop.
are.
before we get to trivia, I have to mention TV dog Eddie from Frasier, Moose, and I think there were 2 dogs that played Eddie. But the best part about Eddie is that Kelsey Grammer hated him, and Kelsey Grammer is a dick. So
Yeah.
All right.
Eddie supremacy.
And shout out to the dog from Dog with a Blog too, who they used for.
I was waiting for that.
Thanks, Bailey. Thanks for the setup. They used the dog in Dog with a Blog for 5 episodes, and then they had a disagreement with the owner. I think it was like a contractual thing, and they had to give it back. But the original dog has like these white spots on him, and they're like, "Oh my God, what are we gonna do?" So they got a dog with a black coat, and they had to paint the white spots on him every single episode. So that's funny.
Wow. Like how they had to paint the dog in The Thing.
Is that a thing that they did?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they painted him, but that's a good just movie actor, is that dog. I think his name's Jed. Yeah. Also, I like the dogs in I Love Dogs, the Wes Anderson film. But some people don't like that movie.
My quick shout out that I think we need to mention is Babe, who I think definitely becomes a pet by the end. And
I wrote that down too.
Without mentioning Babe.
Yes, Babe. And the sequel to Babe, Pig in the City.
Mm-hmm.
With the dog that has the little dog wheelchair. That I love. There needs to be more dogs like that in movies. Like little like 1-legged dogs or 3-legged dogs. Not 1-legged.
Yeah.
Speaking of 3-legged, Champion from Parks and Recreation. Yes. Now we can do trivia.
Brothers Bloom representing the one cat demographic. But all right, well, trivia, you guys asked for it. Let's do it. You all know the rules, but for our audience, I will ask 10 film and TV related questions to the group. The first person to say the correct answer will earn a point. Some questions will be worth more than 1 point. The person with the most points at the end of the game wins. In the event that there's a tie, a tiebreaker will become available. Are there any questions? And I will say,
like that you have a printout now. That's nice.
I always have a printout.
He prepares.
Yeah.
Sometimes an hour before, but
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go on the record and say this is gonna be one of our highest scoring trivia games yet. So, and I hope you're all excited. Here we go. Question number 1. What was the name of John Wick's first dog?
Daisy.
Correct.
I feel like just talked about the second.
Yeah, we just
I did make a point of saying it so that see who would be paying attention. But all right. Question number 2. Who was the original voice for Slinky Dog?
Oh, it's it's Ernest.
Jim Varney.
Yeah.
Correct. With the assist from Kristy. 1 point to Bailey Joe. All right. Question number 3. Terry was a terrier most famous for playing which movie pet?
Odo.
Correct.
Oh, really?
Aww.
Yeah.
Well,
We didn't get to Toto. I had him.
We didn't say Toto. Yeah, Terry the Terrier. So yeah, I figured some of these questions might have already been covered in our discussion, but
Thought about him. He's too scraggly. I
Oh.
nixed him
Leave
from the
Toto
list.
alone.
dang.
That's rough.
Simon has some words for you. But
Yes, he
anyways,
does.
It was the depression. Damn.
Everyone was scraggly.
everyone was out of dog shampoo. Clement, you
Down on his luck.
inconsiderate jerk.
You bougie elitist.
All right, question number 4. What adorns the tip of Zero's nose?
Pumpkin.
Like,
Correct. Can you be more specific?
A light up jack-o'-lantern.
Correct.
What is this from?
it's
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Jack
I had zero
Skellington's.
secrets,
Yeah, he's great because his doghouse is like just a solid concrete block, but because he's a ghost, he can come in and out of that. Yeah,
Nice.
Zero's great, and he becomes Rudolph because
And he ends up pulling. Yeah, he pulls the
Yeah.
stuff.
All right,
Zero, your nose.
yeah. This is my next question. Is my favorite one. It's gonna get crazy in a second. Question number 5. Name as many of the cats from Cats as you can. Go.
Mr. Mistopheles.
Get 1 point for each one. Everybody
Rum
can chime
Tug
in.
Tugger.
It's the Rum Tum Tugger. Give it to
Rum
Billy.
Tum Tugger.
I was literally in Cats. I should know
Victoria.
this.
Yes.
Um,
I almost fell
Um,
asleep in cat, so this is not my category.
No, this is not my favorite.
McCavity.
Play-Doh.
Correct.
Name Judi Dench.
Jamie Doody.
Who does she play?
Skimbleshanks the railway cat. She doesn't play him.
Correct. No. Anyone else?
Wow.
I think you won here anyway. I think you won.
Well, it's now 4-4. Bailey, Joe,
Oh,
and
it
Clement
is.
are tied. Chrissy has
Tiebreaker.
one
I don't
point.
know any of
more.
the other character names. Taylor Swift.
So I really was hoping this would be more exciting, but okay,
I'm
I
so
guess
sorry.
guess we're out.
Sorry to
So,
disappoint, but that's not
one-
my.
The ones you guys
Sorry to my
missed
theater director from high school.
is you got Old Deuteronomy, which was James Duty Dench.
Duder.
Griselba or Grisabella, Mr. Mistopheles, Monka Strap, Jenny Anydots, Buster Jones.
Oh, I said
Gus-
Mistopheles.
That's right, you did.
Christopher.
Gus, I'm just reading them off now. Gus the Theater Cat, Bomb Ballerina, which was Taylor Swift, Mungo Jerry, Rumple Teaser, Growl
Gosh.
Tiger. And then
They
you
have
got
a whole
like
song too. Oh my god.
Sandra, Demeter, Socrates, Jemima, Alonzo, Coricopat, Jelly Lorem, Electra, Tantamile, and Adamus. Those are all the cats. All right.
Your theater teacher's gonna be watching this too, and
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
send in the link.
Yeah. Please
Who
do.
did you
All right.
I want to know who Clement played first.
Oh, I was
This-
McCavity.
You're the you're the
Yes!
villain. Nice.
I
Wanted
was
for
Play-Doh.
everything.
Yes, I was
We have pictures
Play-Doh
that we can
and I
see
was
of this?
McCavity. I will send pictures to the group chat.
Okay. Question number 6. Stanley Ipkiss has a dog named Milo. What movie were they in together?
Mask.
Mask.
Correct. Christy got it. All right. Question number 7. In the Key and Peele film Keanu, who provided the voice for Keanu?
Keanu Reeves.
Correct. They
That's a
got Keanu.
great fun movie.
Yeah, it's
Question number 8. How many Beethoven movies are there?
7. No, wait.
Or
9.
No.
5.
I
No.
thought we were over number
6.
questions.
6. Yeah.
No, not 6.
4.
3.
No.
11.
Let me
7.
I'll repeat it again. Question number 8. How
8.
many I think that's Bailey Joe who got it. It's the only
8
number one I
movies?
have. Yeah, there's 8
It's
of
the
those.
children of the
Rest-
corn of this
And
video.
rest
Yeah.
in peace, Charles Grodin too.
That's true. Yeah, I had to. He's great. Question number 9. Who provided the voice for Stan's dog Sparky in an episode of South Park?
George Clooney.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was also a turkey
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
and like a doctor.
let's not insult the actor George Clooney.
Okay.
Let's not call him names.
Question number 10. This one is worth multiple points. Get a point for each one of these you get correct. You need to name the name of the pet and its breed from Homeward Bound.
Shadow
Cassie is a
retrievers.
Himalayan.
Yeah.
Chance.
What
Wait,
is
did we already say him? Chance is an American bulldog.
Correct.
Sassy is,
Em-
someone say what sassy.
Emily got
Himalayan.
Bailey Joe got Sassy and Chance, and Emily got Shadow. All right, excellent. Well done. Well, it was close for a bit, but then Bailey Joe walked away with it. She has 9 points. Clement has 4. Emily has 1. Kristy has 2. You guys want to hear the
Yes.
tiebreaker as always? Okay, here we go. Chance to earn more points. Name as many of the dogs in Reservoir Dogs as you can.
Mr.
Steve
Pink,
Buscemi.
Mr.
Mr. Blonde,
Mr. White,
Mr.
Mr. Orange,
Mm-hmm.
Pink,
Mr.
yeah, Mr.
Not
Blonde,
Mr. Black,
Mr.
because everyone
Brown.
wants to be Mr. Black, and it turns into a fucking fight. Mr.
Well,
Green.
he says that. Not Mr. Green. There's no Mr. Green.
Not Mr. Yellow.
It's a bad day to have not seen Reservoir Dogs.
Anybody
Yeah.
say Mr. Blonde?
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
first.
Bailey did.
Yeah, she did.
Mr.
Or
Blonde, that's right.
one of them.
Well, there's also Mr. Blue. I don't believe he was named. And then you got Joe Cabot and his son, Nice Guy Eddie. But
Why don't they have colors?
because they're the ones who put together
They're like the
Yeah,
leaders.
everybody
not
knows
the,
them. Yeah.
Mm.
It's the fellow robbers. They don't want each other to know their identities. So, all right. But
Mr.
yeah,
Brown, why not Mr. Shit?
congrats, Bailey Joe. You got 12 points. Good job, everyone.
Yay.
The high scoring game
Woof,
just as I
woof.
predicted.
Yeah, you know your animals.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I don't know cats. I didn't know a single one of those. That sounded like gibberish, like you just made all of those
You've
up.
never heard of these through like just cultural osmosis?
I have, but not enough to recall, I guess. I've never seen the show. I didn't
I've
watch the
only
movie.
seen the shitty movie once, you know.
Same. It haunts me to this day. That's why I came up with that question.
He didn't
All
even have to
right.
research it. He just knew them all by heart.
No, I knew. I had them all memorized. I even
Written
wrote too
blood on his
many.
wall.
Yeah.
Before bed every night, he recites them.
Yeah.
Clutches his rosary close. Says all
Victoria,
the names.
Deuteronomy, Rumble Teaser, McCavity.
Oh, that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you, everyone, for joining as always, and congrats, Bailey Joe. And thank you, everyone who's watching us just kind of be weird and talk about movies and TV and the things that we love. So, everyone, thanks again.